The floor is for you.
Thank you very much, Kim Mama, and all your production team. Thank you for creating this platform this evening for me and my valued listeners to have a conversation. And it's all about the World Conference of Mayors and what we're going to do. Yes, like you rightfully said last month at a conference in Orlando, Florida, the World Conference of Mayors did a great honor by appointing me, Francis Opai Tetteh from Ghana, to the World Conference of Mayors board. That's the board of trustees for the governing body, the global governing body. And aside that, they also appointed me the country director for Ghana, so that I will help to create a chapter of the World Conference of Mayors Incorporated here in Ghana. And like you said, that is a great honor. Then, because that makes me the first ever Ghanaian to serve in that capacity since the organization was created as far back as 1984. So first Ghanaian to serve on the board. And that really is a great honor. So thank you very much and your production team once again for having me on this magnificent show. Thank you.
Francis, can you take us back a little bit, how your journey started to where you are today? Can you please take us, because I know, and I've been dealing with you for some time, I have to be honest, but you started from somewhere. I want you to tell us some of your achievements before you get to this point. I don't think they just pick you out from nowhere to be where you are today. So give us, some achievement that you have acquired before getting to this point.
Yes, from day one, I have been a community development oriented person. But when it comes to professional training, I have a solid background in the field of agriculture and agribusiness, because I am a former product of the Kwadaso Agricultural College in Kumasi, where I did 3 years in general agricultural science. Then also I went to University of Ghana to do diploma in agricultural economics. I went to Central University to read agribusiness management. And currently at the University of Ghana, reading MPhil in migration studies. So I have just submitted my thesis for consideration by the university authorities. And after successful defense, then I can call myself a holder of MPhil in migration studies. So when you look at my background, I have been a very passionate person when it comes to community development. And because of that, I've served in several capacities before getting to where I am right now. I've done some work with the Dentra Youth Congress all the way in the Central Region. The first ever Youth Excellence Award we organized. The people who made it to the top 3 position are doing very, very well right now. The person who emerged as the overall best Dentra Youth of the year 2021 has a scholarship to study in Harvard as we speak today, and from first degree to PhD. That is magnificent. And that was the guy we said he was the overall best youth of Dentra in the year 2021. So by that, we've been able to restore some confidence to the Dentra youth. And I am personally excited about the kind of enthusiasm, the kind of reawakening or renaissance that has hit the Dentra youth, right from Dentra South, the Upper Dentra East and West municipalities. Is very amazing. Then when you come to the Gadangme area, as you know by my name, I'm Francis Opai Tetteh. I'm a native of the Yellow Krobo area. And by extension, I've also done a couple of projects there. I set up the Henry Jaba Business School to train people and give them professional background in business creation and business management. Those who are working for people, how to contribute your quota to make your employer successful. The moment your employer is successful, you as an employee, you also have your fair share. So it is always the best decision to support your employer, and that's what we train them for at the Henry Jaba Business School. I can say with confidence that I've trained over 500 youths under the Henry Jaba Business School umbrella. Then also there is the Kobo Center and Governance Studies. I created that one because when you look at the region, those are the only Dangwe people within that region. The rest are Akans and Guans. And for our youth to remain relevant in the political arena within that region, we need to do something extraordinary. So in that vein, I committed myself to training the youth in leadership and governance area. And that area too, I can say that I've trained over 500 youths who are doing very, very of leadership in our country, not only in the Kobo enclave, but beyond. Because when we opened up, people came from all the other regions to participate in our training. So we didn't train only Kobos. I have done a couple of things. Like I said, when you go to New Somania, also in the Eastern region, there was a beautiful police post there. I led a charge and people donated generously under the banner of the Ilokro Heritage Council. And we built that beautiful police post. So as I do all of this, it got to a point that I had opportunity to travel with the paramount queen of the Manya Krobo State to Wichita upon invitation by the African American Council of Elders. I delivered a paper at the African American Museum, and in the process, the president of the African American Council of Elders requested that we create a 7th division, because the Kobo has 6 divisions. We create a 7th division for them so that they could also come to live here in Ghana. So they will not come home and then be living in hotels, but they want to live among the people within the community. That is how proper cultural integration is done. So when I came back home and we relayed this information to the paramount chief or the king of the Kobo land, he agreed. And that division has been created. And the name that has been given to that division is called Waseno. And in Dangbe parlance, Waseno means our younger sibling. Because before they came, there were other 6 divisions. So the 7th division is our younger sibling. And if you have a younger sibling, then you have a responsibility to protect, to help, to nurture and grow that new division. The king of the Kobo land has earmarked 500 acres of land and has from his own will also dashed 200 plots to create this new division and a settlement for the African Americans who would like to relocate to Ghana and live under the Wasino division of the Kobo land. By extension, that settlement got recognized by the historic Black townships and settlements under the World Conference of Mayors. So that is how come I got connected to the World Conference of Mayors, by developing or creating the Wasino division of the Ilokro State. So it happened that the World Conference of Mayors, getting connected to Ghana through the Wasino initiative, will have to also have a chapter in this country, and reviewing all the work I have done for the creation of the Wasino division of the Ilokro State. And then the African American Council of Elders sending delegations to Ghana about 3 consecutive times. And the paramount chief or the Kono of Ilokro State also visiting Wichita and Tuskegee last year. They have realized that I am in the right position to serve in that organization to be able to do more. Because the same thing we did for the Yellow Kobos, we are trying to do the Doma Ahinko in the Bono region. We're also trying to replicate the same thing in the Adan states in the Greater Accra region of Ghana. We're trying to replicate the same thing with our Kwamus also in the eastern region of Ghana. So it is something that we're going to do as a strategic way to create space here in Ghana for our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. And the World Conference of Mayors believe that incorporating me into the mainstream governing body and also putting me in charge to organize the mayors and MPs and the CEOs of government institutions in Ghana will help to achieve the vision of the organization. So
Okay.
I believe that
I would like to interject here a little bit. You have left so much that you have achieved. I know you pointing the one that most people know, but the being part of the World Conference Mayor recently, you also launched the beads. You have the beads, and I know you also play a major role. Next month will be March. You also play a major role of the Tetteh Foundation, and that is another core project. Can you please take us there, roll it back to the beads bank, then we dive into our current achievements or the appointment you just received?
Thank you very much. So, because we are talking about the World Conference of Mayors and all the related issues, I thought but if you want me to talk about it, you are the host. So I'm really ready and glad to do that. Yes, definitely. What I'm wearing right now, I'm wearing this not to show off. I'm wearing because I believe in it. And I'm wearing because I have the mandate to showcase the Ghanaian and for that matter, the African artistic to the whole world. What I'm wearing right now is typically spent glass or bottles that have been converted into beads. So what I wear right now is recycled glass beads made in Ghana. Ghanaians, for some very important reason, have the technology to do this hundreds of years ago. I don't know how they got it, but some of us were born to meet our fathers and uncles convert bottles into colorful beads. But the truth of the matter is that the bead makers are making nothing. Those who arrange the beads and resell them are rather making the money. So it wasn't too long ago when the Bead Makers Association of the Kobo land invited me and said, hey, we have seen what you're doing for other jurisdictions, in the Akan communities and other places. You are one of us. Why don't you help us to get these Kobo beads across the globe? Because these are the real issues. It is not only about culture. It's also about science and technology. How they subject this thing to extreme heat to get this thing done is amazing. The other aspect of it is its social friendliness. Glasses are made out of soda and other things that are put together. And therefore, it takes over several millions of years for a glass to decompose. So if a stone does not decompose easily, then you should know that glasses too do not decompose when you throw them out. So instead of throwing away our wine bottles and glasses and all of those lover blades, the Krobos will collect them, wash them, pound them into powder, and then put them in the mold and fire them, and then later put designs on them, and they become very colorful as I'm using right now. And that is the foundation of our culture in Ghana. From the womb right to your tomb, beads play important role. When a woman conceives and delivers, immediately that woman is given white beads to wear. So the moment you are in the Ghanaian culture and you see a woman with a white bead, automatically it tells you that she is a nursing mother. The baby, to the moment is born, they put beads of 3 colors, black, white, and sky blue, on his wrist before he's giving his or her name. And later on in life, assuming the father want to move that child from one ethnic group to the other, based on one reason or the other, you would have to come and cut that bead and put in one of your tradition and culture. And that takes a lot of stuff to do that. It tells you how intricate our culture is. When a woman to look colorful, adorable, and romantic, you need a waist bead. And that is the biggest and the most interesting aphrodisiac ever in this world. So in the waist, there are beads. In the wrist, the ankles, the knees, and even your elbows. So beads are worn all over. During festivals, our chiefs and queen mothers put on beads to make themselves look colorful. During marital ceremonies, people put beads on to look beautiful and adorable. So beads play a very, very important role in the lives of the African, not only Ghanaians, the Kenyans do it, the South Africans, the Nigerians. In fact, in our side of the world, your net worth is also calculated by the amount or the quantity of beads that you have as an individual or a family. So you can see how important beads are. And we need to get this message across. If Chinese can make rubber beads and then push them to our market and people still buy it, what about those of us who are making beads out of saving the environment from pollution and also making people to look adorable and beautiful? So when they gave me that assignment, I decided, yes, I'll do it. And like Kimama rightfully said, last year, I organized the first ever beads and ornament expo, which did very, very well. And we're hoping to do it again, not only in Ghana, but in Leicester City in the United Kingdom, and also in New York where Kimama lives, and also in Bahamas and the Caribbean communities this year. So yes, I have done a couple of things. And for me to be able to drive the beads agenda, I have a company called the Kobo Beads Bank. The Kobo Beads Bank. Yeah, so I have done some couple of things in the bead industry. Kimama also spoke about the Tetteh Kwashi. Yes, on March 27 is Tetteh Kwashi's birthday. And for those of you who do not know about anything about Tetteh Kwashi was a Ghanaian. At the age of 28, traveled to another country in the West African sub-region. Do I call it South Africa? No, probably that place should be Central Africa, because that is a country currently called Equatorial Guinea, which is not far away from Cameroon. So this young man migrated to that area. That island at that time was controlled by the Spanish. And later the British bought it to use it to stop the transatlantic slave trade. So they bought that island, because that was the route with which people were traveling with our kinsmen that were taken to the diaspora. So when they bought the island from the British, from the Spanish, the British set up an administration there. So when they were dispatching officers from the Christianborg Castle in Osu, Tetteh Kwashi, this young man at the age of 28, went with them because he was a professional cook and was cooking for the colonials. He went there and noticed that they were using cocoa almost every day for their beverage. And when he did a lot of work about the cocoa, he saw how nutritious that product is. And in fact, the botanical name of cocoa is Theobroma cacao, meaning the food of the gods. That's why people ate it in the morning, in the noon, and in the evening. So on his way back to the Gold Coast, now Ghana, 6 years later, he concealed 11 pods of the cocoa in his toolbox, came to experiment it in the Gold Coast, and so he went in 1870 and returned in 1876. By 1879, Tetteh Quarshie has successfully raised a cocoa plantation in Ghana at a place called Rekapi Mampo. And from that small beginning, cocoa had spread through to the entire forest belt in this
Mr.
country.
Francis, I'll come in here. I don't want you to give them all the information. This is just a teaser for them to come on March to celebrate Tetteh Quarshie. So if we give everything out today, then the birthday will be, already sold out. But I would like you to save it if they want more details and to celebrate Tetteh Quarshie birthday via Zoom. They should save the date for the March 27th for us to come back to the Key Mama show to celebrate Tetteh Quarshie. And we will have more, I think you have more videos, more things to show us, and the plan you have ahead. Now, let's dive into the World Mayor Conference. Tell us about it. Tell us all. We want to know what they've been doing, what they have done, and what you have in store, like you started earlier to explain.
So thank you very much, Kimama. So I was just explaining to them that out of this, the Tetteh Quarshie Heritage Foundation was created to push the Tetteh Quarshie's agenda. We want to immortalize him and make him so relevant in our body politics and everything. So I have done substantial work trying to make Tetteh Quarshie a legend of our land. So like Kimama rightly said, I did not just emerge to this kind of position that I have served the communities faithfully. Not just that, I also have the Council for Gadangme Divisional Chiefs that I serve. I have the Global Union of Sunday School Teachers that I serve. So I have community-based projects that I have worked so far, so good. And fortunately, most of the municipal chief executives and then their assembly members, they know me because when I used to run the Majite Institute of Negotiation, I have held training sessions for most municipalities, district and metropolitan areas in this country. I have trained most of them. So it didn't start today. It started several years.
We are having some glitches, but bear with us. And Mr. Opai, as he mentioned earlier on, as he mentioned, he has done so many things in the community, both home and abroad. As you know, the network itself. So we are here today to celebrate Mr. Opai Tetteh. I'm going to share the screen to see the coming events that we have that is coming up very soon. One is we are planning a trip to Ghana. So please, when you get this flyer and you're interested or you have a group of people who wants to join this trip, it's coming on. It's coming on, as you can see, August 18, and it rolls down to Tuesday, 23rd. That is when the festival will take place. So please, 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 please join us and let's go to the motherland and, 5 days meet, mingle, and explore Ghana. And this is not just going to be a one-time, but it's going to be, ongoing events annually. So kindly do that. Mr. Opai, welcome back.
Thank you very much, Kimama. I appreciate it. So like I was saying, World Conference of Mayors was founded by, he did that as far back as 1985 to create across the world, to come together to build capacity, to also strike collaborations in what we call twin cities or sister city arrangements, also for tourism, for technology transfer. If you go to some of the advanced communities, you will see a lot of people with special skills who are currently on retirement, and taking them from where those places to other communities that are not much endowed, to share their technology with them, great things to one of the components. Getting people out of their comfort zone to go to other places, educational trips and all of that is yet another thing. Because most mayors are completely stuck in their offices. There's a need to move them around the world to see the other side of the world. And that is also one of the things that the World Conference of Mayors are particular about. Talk it away. The African American Council of Elders took us to the Kansas State University, and just across the university is a strategic American asset. Is an agribusiness project that they do a lot of things agriculture there.
Forgive us for the
because it's American food storage. To go there, the kind of rigorous, and when we got there, one of the things the managers of that project did was to pull out the document, and they show us the trade in food that they have had with Gamay. It was amazing. I was like, we have that kind of trade relationship with Kansas City. And that's what the World Conference of Mayors also seeks to metropolitan, municipal, and districts area, local government areas. Okay, so that one is also another focus. So the World Conference of Mayors is just a wonderful platform for every member of parliament. In America, you call them congressmen. And then the mayors in our side of the world, we call them municipal, metropolitan, or district chief executives. We put them together to form an association, to compare notes, to share ideas, to travel, and then to also benefit from some of these relationships that I've mentioned. So Kimama, the World Conference of Mayors platform is a big deal. It's a real deal.
Congratulations once again. And like I said, today we are celebrating your achievements. As we celebrate the Black History Month, we have to celebrate our own people. And you are picked by the to celebrate you today. Fortunately, forgive us of the glitches that we are having, but so far, so good, and it's been going wonderful. Before we move on, I would like to share my screen again. Some activities that is coming on. I'll share, these are our sponsors. This is coming up in part of the celebration of Black History Month, and I'm one of the honorees. So if you're around the tri-boroughs and you wanted to join, please, you are invited to attend this event, and you're going to really enjoy it very much. Also, aside from you having the World Conference of Mayors, you have started a new project. And can you see my screen? Can you see?
I cannot see your screen. It's taking down.
Okay, it's taking out. I'm going to put on another share screen. And for you to talk.
You are referring to the diaspora motherland conversation.
That's
The
correct.
diaspora motherland conversation. Yes, exactly so. Kimama, like you rightly said, we have come to realize that there is some kind of communication gap between the diaspora and then the native Africa, those of us on the motherland. And that is because, one, growing up, those in the diaspora were told a lot of nasty things about Africa. So people grew up forming unfortunate opinions about Africa. We have also noticed that the people, especially the African Americans, have gone through tough history, and their tough life has kind of molded them into some breed of human beings that you need care and strategy to be able to handle them, because they've been bruised and battered for a very long time. Then when you come back home, you also have another impression about the diaspora, because people who have traveled from our side of the world and have gone to America, Europe, and other places have come back home with wealth. So it has also gone into the mind of those of us in the motherland that there are opportunities in the diaspora, a lot of them. As we speak right now, go to prayer centers, go to shrines, go to all manner of places, and you see people who are looking for divine help to be able to get the American visa to travel. It's so pathetic and amazing. So these two, or not just that, these are just few examples of the numerous communication gap between the diaspora and Africa. Because of that, when a diaspora who has come back home to connect with the motherland, like Madame Angeline Johnson referred to in our last conversation, said that, have we become the wallets for those in Africa? Because they feel that they have come home to rest, not for people to think that they have bottomless wallets for them to tap into. So that is a problem, it's a challenge. Africans in Africa need to have a strategy to handle our brothers and sisters who are coming from the diaspora. And therefore, Kimama and I have instituted the Diaspora Motherland Conversation to help to address some of these issues. So last month, January, and we're going to do this thing last Saturday in every month for the whole year 2023. And at the end of the day, we hope to present a communique, a well-written communique to the ECOWAS Parliament and then the AU Parliament, and to start from home, the government of Ghana. We're going to present a communique on a strategy that we believe that should be the best way for us to relate to the diaspora. The diaspora is a very big country with a population of about 250 million. It's a constituency that you cannot underestimate. We need to handle people from the diaspora in the best of ways. And that is what this campaign seeks to do, the Diaspora Motherland Conversation. If we have a challenge and you don't talk about it, it will remain a challenge. And our elders say that the snake or the serpent that you did not deal with in Genesis, the moment you get to Revelation, it will become a huge dragon to deal with. So whatever it is dividing, is coming between the Africa and the diaspora, this is a time for us to deal with it. And this conversation seeks to address just that. So when you look at the image Kimama has shared on your screen, this particular month, which is 25th of this month, being the last Saturday of month of February, we are looking at the matters of citizenship, because the people in the diaspora, we don't just want you to come home and do tourism or business and go back. We also want you to become part of us because this is your original home. This is where your ancestors were before they were taken back and enslaved over there. So we really want you to come back home and come and live with us lawfully and legally. As it stands right now, although your skin color is just like that of us, the truth is that you hold American citizenship. And if for you to become Ghanaian, there are procedures, lawful procedures to follow. So we are bringing on next week an exchequer, Ni Ajay Peter Blebo, who is also an immigration lawyer, to communicate or to have a conversation with him as to the best ways to acquire citizenship of Ghana. Whether you want to register, apply to become it, or through marriage or through adoption, whatever procedure, he will take time to explain everything. You can also see me, Tawia Kone, also there. This man has lived in Canada for over 3 decades, and he has done a lot of projects under the Nile River Library. And he is coming because it's a Black History Month in this November. We can not only come and talk about citizenship and ignore Black History Month. So he will briefly look at the perspective of the Black History Month and how we can use it to enhance the relationship between Africa and the diaspora. Then there's a young man there, Awate, who is also as an interesting poet, who had delivered a very nice poem about the diaspora and the enslavement of our people. And when we are talking about some of these things, these are people you can't leave them out because his poem is really touching, is historical, is accurate, is emotional, emotion driven, and it's everything that will get anybody at all who will listen to it to get up and start doing something for the diaspora and the motherland. So we have also engaged him. Look at our beautiful sister down there. He's a person we talk about. We are not talking about contemporary fashion. We are talking about the typical original African fashion, the fashion where we adorn ourselves with beads and cover ourselves properly, where we dress and when we walk with pride and confidence. That's the kind of fashion ambassador we are talking about. And we see how it's cladded. That is the kind of fashion ambassador we are talking about. That, hey, let's not be blinded by modernity and throw away our original way of appearing in public. That is full of confidence, that is full of attractiveness. So it is going to be a very short event, but it's going to be one of the events that you will never forget about. It's going to be memorable. So we just want to extend the invitation. It's also going to be on Zoom. So wherever you are globally, you can listen. In America, it's going to be 4 p.m. on Saturday. America, Canada, 4 p.m. But those of us in Africa, it's going to be 9 p.m. Let's all make time and have this conversation. We need to bridge whatever gap that exists between Africa and the diaspora so we can enjoy as one people. And Kibama, before I rest on this thing, let me also talk briefly about the African diaspora setting up bank for construction. Am I permitted to do that?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, so dear valued listeners, like I said, according to Ning Tawia Kone, the diaspora is a big constituency and they are over 250 million in population. Ghana is only 30 million. And out of this 30 million, we have influenced the world so much through Kofi Annan, Tetteh Kwashi, and then Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the foremost Pan-Africanist. What we are saying is that when you look at all the investment from Africa and Europe that are in Ghana currently, if you want to talk about the Standard Chartered Bank or Coca-Cola, if you want to talk about Newmont Mining Company and all of them, all these things are companies of the white folks in that side of the world. What about the blacks, the African Americans, the Caribbeans, the West Indies, the African diaspora in China, African diaspora in Russia, in India, in all over the world. What are we doing by way of investment in the motherland where we originally come from? Nigeria alone as a country has over 6 commercial banks operating in Ghana currently. So we have thought of it and decided that, look, the diaspora need to do something and the time is now. Africa is now free trade area. The original trade barriers have been knocked down. We are one marketplace right now. The second important thing is that we used to have the West Africa Economic Bloc, the North Africa Economic Bloc, the East Africa Economic Bloc, that of the Central and Southern Africa Economic Blocs. Now, the AU, the African Union, has also recognized the diaspora as the 6th economic bloc of Africa. The 6th economic bloc of Africa. So the diaspora now is on the table at the AU, the African Union. The diaspora is now treated as a whole constituency or a country. And what we are saying is that there is one thing that the diaspora can do to benefit in this African continental free trade area after, and that is by creating bank for construction. Why are we not talking about import and export bank? Why are we not talking about agricultural development bank? Why are we not talking about other banks like exist elsewhere? Yes, there are banks like that operating in the system already. But the missing link is bank to sponsor capital-intensive projects that involve construction. Last time in 2019 that I visited China, Beijing, China, I realized that one of the leading banks in China is the China Bank for Construction. We need similar thing in Africa, not only in Ghana. In Africa, we need to connect the entire African continent with railway lines. We need to build new. Recently, that I traveled, I was coming back to Ghana. Was the day I realized that the Kotoka International Airport is too small to handle the numbers. Just one aircraft that landed, and the people that came from the aircraft virtually flooded the entire Kotoka International Airport. That was the day I learned the biggest lesson, that Kotoka International Airport is too small for the numbers that are coming and going out. It's not only Kotoka, all the 54 countries in the African Union all need new airports, new seaports, inland ports, bridges, roads, railway line connectivity, residential and commercial facilities or properties. We need them. And the surest way to do this is the diaspora. Diaspora, we respect you, the members of the diaspora community, because one, you have the ideas, you have the network, you have the resources, you have the experience, you have the background, you have the training and everything to do this for ourselves and the generations thereafter. We all applaud Nkrumah for his achievement for the whole of Africa. So what I'm saying is that the diaspora has done it before and they can do it again. Let's mobilize ourselves, come back to Africa and set up the first ever African bank for construction. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We all can witness Mr. Opai Tetteh achievements. I know that he's not stopping there. He's still going and going and going. So before I to join the coming event.
Live in New York City, the Big Apple, Ghana Aviation in collaboration with National Ghana Parade Council, and Gold Star and Wings of Ghana present Aviation, Cargo, and Tourism Expo 2023 at Hong Kong Ground Concourse, Bronx, New York, on Saturday, June 17, 2023. Performing live, Rishma Asante and Kobana and Band. Interested exhibitors should register on Expo at GhanaAviationNews.com or call 1-929-240-2149 or +233-245-675530.
Powerful.
So you all see the video, and it's going to be in celebration with the Juneteenth celebration, something that we are putting together to celebrate both the emancipation of the slavery, and this is the second year that the independence or the holiday was declared. So it's open for you all. Now I'd like to give our guests a minute or two to say something briefly about Mr. Opai Tetteh's achievements. Who comes first? Unmute yourself and please. I know Queen Mother is here. We can pass by Queen Mother, but there's a saying that in our culture, Mr. Opai, you can correct me. Once the Queen Mother speaks, no one else can do follow up. So we will leave Queen Mother for last. Is that correct?
Yes, in African situation is correct. I don't know about America, but in Africa, the moment the chief or the Queen Mother has spoken, nobody's allowed to talk. That is finality.
Okay. So Queen Mother, you want to take the lead, or Mr. Robert? I have Mr. Publication. All this is what's going on at the moment, if you can see. So this is just breaking news, and it's very sad. So I just don't want to show it and distract people. But who is here to say something a minute? Grandma, Queen Mother, are you on? Let me add you to the spotlight. Please, what do you have to say, like a minute or two about Mr. Francis, celebration achievement? Please introduce yourself officially. Can you hear me?
Mayors have been structured in such a way that we need to generate the capital internally. The World Conference of Mayors also have a way they also support activities of the various chapters across the world. And one amazing thing that I probably didn't talk about is that whenever the mayors gather, all the businesses within the various metropolitan, municipal, district areas also come on board. So a mayor is not only going to attend a conference and come back home, but he has opportunity to strike a very beautiful deals. And I, for instance, have about 3 deals that I've carried on with me from America to Ghana that I'm working on. So yes, the capital is supposed to be internally generated. That's why before they select you, they will see that you are somebody who has the capacity to generate the capital that you need to operate. And it is when you are also on the move yourself, then the body of the World Conference Incorporated will also come and do your part. There's also the opportunity, because it's a brand that is respected and recognized globally. So if you're operating at that brand, getting grants to do projects is also an available option. So grants through the World Conference of Mayors itself, and what we can also generate internally. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Queen Mother, is your question been answered?
Yes, thank you, sister.
Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Who else before we come to close? Mr. Robert, we were trying to connect you, but your voice.
Yeah, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yeah, 1 minute of
Yes, okay. I just wanted to use this opportunity to congratulate my one and only Mr. Francis Tetteh for his hard work and then his achievements. We pray for long life and prosperity for him, and then we wish all the best for him. Thank you so much, Emperor Francis. We appreciate you, celebrate you, we salute you. The sky is your limit. That's all I want to say. Bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Mr. Older. Thank you very much. And thank you all for joining us. Yes, thank you all for joining us. We are one family and we have to celebrate each other. We don't have to wait for it's too late. So this is the time that whenever one of us have another step, up to the ladder, we have to come out and celebrate. So thank you all for your time and for supporting the Key Mama Show, Key Mama Foundation, Ghana Fest, everything that we do. Way forward, fast forward, sorry for my camera today, but now it's much better. 25th, we are going to have our conversation, and also follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and you can see the activities that comes on. And God bless you all, and just